Hi there, my name is Ricardo Corvin. Welcome back to the Rainbow Room International podcast channel. Today we've got Julianne Donaldson, who is one of the directors of our Crow Road Salon, and like most of us has grown up through the brand, and her story is intertwined with so many stories in Rainbow Room International. It is actually, she's nearly as intertwined as Alan and Linda with most of the people in the brand. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today's podcast has been sponsored by Mataki Scissors, and I'm an ambassador for the brand, and I've been using them now for about 7 months, and they have been amazing. The fact that they're a British-based company, the fact that we can pick up the phone and work with them and we can get everything sharpened with them has been absolutely unique. So today's podcast is brought to you with the help of Mataki Scissors. Julianne.
Hi there, Ricardo.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Right. So I know this always starts off a bit weird.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's just like all of a sudden we're sitting across a desk and there's
It just
microphones.
feels weird. It
does feel weird. But after 5 minutes, it'll just be like us all sitting in the back of a Rainbow Room bus,
Yes.
going somewhere ridiculous. Right. So needless to say, you now know how this goes. So
Yes.
you've got your first point of call is it Linda or
Whisper Gold.
Oh, straight in. There was no messing about there.
Thank you.
Right, William, you've got yourself some Linda in there. Well done. That's the bribe. So I've now I give it away now, so I'm not eating it. And it's we're recording on a Sunday afternoon, to which I've had a nighttime belly full of pasta. I've been eating my brains out, so it's fabulous. Right, enough about my eating habits. So let's go right back to the start.
Okay.
And not the when did you become a hairdresser. Let's go. Where are you from? When did you arrive in the world? What's your story?
So I'm from Paisley. So I'm literally 4 minutes away from the studio as well. I born in 1981. So then I went to West Primary School and then Castlehead High School.
Right.
And then that was me. Kinda. So always been here.
Right. So this is it. This is
This is home for me.
Based territory. That's
Yeah,
I know.
that is.
It was good because it's one of the things. It's the other than giving you the address. Didn't need to tell you anything about it. Found it in 2 seconds. And in that note, do you see a bit of a sort of renaissance of Paisley just now? Sort of having grown up and everybody talking about it going away.
Like I remember when I used to go out in Paisley when I was probably underage, to be fair.
No comment.
As well, no comment on that as well. And it was a great night. We used to have great nights. We used to go out, literally went out a Tuesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes stayed in a Monday and a Wednesday, but most of the time we were out, maybe one of them as well. But I feel as if it totally died a death when I was in my maybe mid-20s as well. But I definitely think there's loads of restaurants opening back up.
Yeah.
They've redoing back up museum. They've done up town hall. So I think it's definitely coming back up as well, which is nice to see.
No, it is. It's amazing. And again, for viewers and listeners that don't know, we record this in the Loud and Proud studios in Paisley, and even themselves as an organisation and what they do for the community is amazing. So it's great. It's great to see it come back up. And my car mechanic's here, so I've got to come here all the time because obviously I'm an idiot and drive silly cars. So school, kind of primary school, enjoy it,
Loved it. Always loved school, enjoyed it. Done well in primary school, done well in high school. I stayed on to 6 year, got all my hires. I started doing a Saturday job when I was 14.
Right.
But I really enjoyed school.
Right. And what kind of thing, like in high school, what was kind of ticking the boxes? What
biology, chemistry, art, my 3 favourite subjects.
Was it?
Yeah.
And again, later on in your story, it's interesting how that's all going to kick in.
It's all going to kick in,
It's interesting that, and not all of us, it's kind of, not all the school stories are that great.
No, I was quite academic, so I did get pretty good grades in school. Got all my standard grades. I got 8 standard grades and I get 5 hires.
Right, okay.
As well,
so you were ready to rock. And kind of hobbies, part-time stuff, what were you kind of into?
Hobbies was dancing. Always loved dancing.
Right.
Kind of went to dancing since I was quite young. It's probably the only thing I've ever regretted giving up, because I gave it up because the job started on a Saturday and the dancing was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But also at that age when you're 14, you want to go and hang out with your pals.
Yeah.
So I probably gave it up anyway.
It's the cut off for everything, whether it's a
is,
sport or it's like you've either got to decide, right, I'm going to be good at this. I actually find it fascinating talking to people and watching things about when a kid decides or their parents decide by the way, this could be a living for you. It's no longer a hobby, and how they turn that around. But yeah, kind of most people do, and there is that thing, like everybody's got that wee bit of sacrifice when you become a hairdresser, because
definitely you do.
It becomes a bit all-consuming at that, in a good way.
In a good way. So I would probably say dancing, and then music just ties in with dancing anyway. Yeah. So I've always liked music as well. Yeah. So it's kind of.
And have you ever played, or were you just always like a fan of?
Just a fan of music.
Right.
Well, I played the cello when I did play the cello, right? So, but in primary school, and when I went to first year, I gave it up because I thought I am not carrying that big massive thing up to Castlehead High School. It's because I used to walk to school. So I was like, I'm not carrying that. And I thought I can't.
You're getting a doon in the corridors in first year with a cello.
I thought I can't take that.
You could sneak a wee violin or a viola in, but you're getting a doon with a cello.
Yeah, I thought that'd been too much.
Oh, that's good. Didn't know that. I like that.
I was rubbish at it though, but I played it.
No, but listen, as you know, I'm still trying to learn the piano, and I'm nearly dead, and I'll never get a tune out of one, do you know that way? But I'm not going to chuck it. But again, it's amazing how important like music kicks in. You know,
definitely. And a lot of my family are quite musical, because obviously Iona can sing. Yeah. As well, my wee cousin Gregor and Rory, like Rory plays the bagpipes, and he can literally pick up anything and play it.
Just get a tune out of
as
stuff.
well. Yeah, Gregor's my dad plays the drums in a pipe band as well.
Does he?
Yeah. So there's always like music in there somewhere.
It's always kicking about. Well, it's. I mean, again, it's just right through Rainbow Room as a brand, but it's funny how it's always just kind of comes back to that all the time. Yep. With the dancing, was there like?
I've done Latin American ballroom, so I was a Strictly Come Dancing. Yeah, still love that programme.
Yes. Fake tanned out your nut and sequins.
Fake tanned out my head, loads of sequins.
Brilliant. Oh, great. And do you watch it now?
Love it. Still watch it. Yeah. I could just take it.
Aye.
I'm like, oh, that's a mistake there.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
Can you check it out? I'm kind of well. I mean, I've got my pre-bronze tap.
Yeah.
And I've got my infant tap, because my big sister was a dancing teacher, and we get through. It was actually We're on the March with Ali's Army, because I had the 78 World Cup football strip, so I'd have been 5 at the time.
Yeah.
Bunged on stage, had to dance with that. But and it was always, and Strictly's, I mean, it's hair heaven, and at the weekend as well. You were always
watch it for the dancing, but just the hair, the makeup, the clothes,
the whole shebang. And again, back to the same thing, big live band, and they're always amazing as well. But I'm now of an age where all my favourite dancers have retired or now have been thrown out.
Oh yeah, that too.
Controversial, Strictly in its old age, but so again, all these things are precursors to who you end up being as well, aren't they? They're all just little sort of points and notes that you're going to end up being that guy, you know, which is amazing. So you touched on the point where you're at school, you're doing great, grades are good, but this Saturday job appears.
So it was basically, I was speaking to my auntie, which was Jo, and at the time, this was before, it must have been about 8 or 9, but she worked in the one in Paisley before it got closed and moved and stuff like that. And I remember being, when I was young, my first experience of being in an actual hairdresser's was my mum taking me up to drop something off for Jo, and like, just sit there and don't make a noise, sit in that corner. And I was just mesmerised. I was thinking, man, he's quite cool. Yeah. And so this place is amazing. Yeah. And I was kind of
caveat that in case she's watching. She's very cool.
As well. She's
very cool, Auntie Jo.
As well. And I was like, oh man, he's quite cool.
Yeah.
So that was my first experience of like being in a big salon. It was like big windows, and it was like loads of music getting played. Everybody just was all laughing and having a really good time. I was like, oh, this place is quite nice. I quite like this. And then I remember when I got to about like 13, I was like, I think I'd quite like a wee Saturday job. She was like, well, I'll speak to David, but you need to be 14.
Right.
And that was fine. So then David says, right, the week after her 14th birthday, tell her just to come in. And that was literally my interview.
Was it as far as it went?
That's literally my interview, was just come in, do a day, see how you feel. Yeah. And then that was it. That's how I started my Saturday job.
And did they do that because kind of the old school thing of, because obviously you were related to Jo, they didn't want you working in Paisley because then you'd be too familiar? And
well, I think Jo was actually in 24 at the time.
All right, so she transitioned.
It was 1995.
All right,
so she'd been back. She was in 24 at the time.
Because when I started in 90, and I grew up in Houston, so they
Yep.
were like, do you want to work in Paisley? And I'm like, no, I'm a townie, I want to be in
Yeah.
Glasgow. You know, that
well,
was
no,
it.
so she was in 24 at the
She
time.
was in 24 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
right, cool. So, what year, what's that? Third year?
1995,
Is
yeah,
that
so it
third
was
year?
kind of like third year. Mhm.
Yeah. That's like, if you imagine a third year now
Yeah,
and going into 24 then,
yeah.
it's quite a jump.
It is, and I think because I was used to going and seeing my auntie in another salon, I didn't really have any other experience of small
Yeah.
salons. So
Yeah.
all the salons I've been to, I thought, this is what they're all like.
This is what
Until you don't get later on down the line, you realise, oh, they're
Yeah.
not like this at all.
No. And again, for anybody listening or watching that's never been to 24, I mean, you've got ground floor shop, you've got kind of nail and lashes through the back and reception, then you're going up the half landing, and you get the lift, and then you've got this huge 25 section, you know, salon floor space.
And then that's where our academy was, up the stairs again.
Yeah, again. So I mean, it is a unique space, 24, and being in there at 14, coming in for third year. What kind of jumped out at you initially when you first went in?
I think just how busy it was and how many people's in the one space as well. I don't think I was really intimidated. I think I was more excited than anything else. I thought I would have been, like, when I think back, but I think when you're 14, you don't actually know what intimidation is.
No.
So you're just like, yeah, this is cool. I'm just going to go in and work in here.
Yeah. It's a great crew.
It did an amazing
At that time as well,
because I
didn't it?
remember like the receptionist was like Freddie and Wendy,
Yeah.
who were like really nice girls. They kind of really looked after you, took you under their wing. Also, Manta was there, but she's like, look, I'm not going to work with you the same way as well, because I want you to do it on your own and not feel as if you can, but obviously you can come to me if you need to.
Aye, so you'd spoke
As well.
about that and just the idea of
Yeah.
just that wee bit of distance, so it wasn't
As
too
well,
familiar.
like I'll be there if you need me, but just go in and just work. So a few people didn't even know we were auntie and niece
Yeah.
until like we'd been in for a good few weeks, like working. And then I had just working with, like, so it was like, because Will wasn't there, but it was Shannon and Cassie was my head assistants.
Right.
So I was a Saturday girl and they were the two head assistants as well.
Right.
So Adrian was still there
He's still there.
Yeah.
Then. Well, again, you're right on.
when he was just getting ready to open up his
96,
salon. Yeah,
so you're kind of there. Yeah.
so yeah, so I done the Saturday job for 3.5 years.
Right.
So basically took me up to 6 year.
Uh-huh.
So I worked with like loads of people who came and go. Obviously Adrian got his salon, so Cassie and Shannon
Yeah.
went with Adrian as well, so they were kind of left, so but they'd qualified through that time as well and had been working elsewhere and then done that. And then there was people like Sean came in, who's over from here, which he was hilarious.
Yeah.
I remember getting my first £10 tip with doing one of his clients.
Is that right?
A lot of the other girls were like, oh, I don't want to do this client, don't know, I feel a bit. I was like, that's fine, I'll go into it as well. And then I get the tenner tip, so they were all raging as well. And I'm like, that's fine, I'll do them. I'm happy to do them as well. And then I still went into night classes every week as well. So even being a Saturday girl, they're like, do you want to come and do it? I'm like, yeah. As well. So I found that I actually just loved doing it.
And were they still? Was it Monday or Wednesday? What night?
Wednesday night.
They were doing a Wednesday
as well.
night.
So
then, yeah.
it was a Wednesday night. So I'd be up in my school uniform, straight to school, doing the night classes, bringing models in. So by the time I was done a year, I think I was doing highlights on the salon floor. So I'd have been 15 doing full heads of highlights on clients. There was one time though, Joanna asked me to go and take her colour off, and it was Saskia at the time, had just finished putting a full head on, but Joanna's client had went to the toilet, so Joanna just had pointed over.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, okay. So the client's, oh, that was dead quick. I'm like, oh yeah, chatting away, watched all her colour off, and I seen Saskia's face just go. She's like, then Joanna's like, why is my colour not off? And I'm like, oh, I've took the wrong colour off as well. So since then, I've always asked as
Quadruple checked.
double check.
Who's
double
doing
check.
your hair? When?
So I remember at that point, Saskia's like, you need to put a full head back in. So I had to sit and literally put a full head of foils back in that client as well.
It was foils, of course. It was foils. It would never be a tint.
Never a
would it?
tint.
No.
Full head of foils, had to sit and pop it all back on.
Right.
So that was my first time doing a full head of foils on a client in the salon.
Well, the thing about that is, look how calm you must have been, because if you're starting off from it's not just like, oh, I'm just doing it. It's just like, sorry, and
I was
then
like, oh no.
it's almost as if you're getting the penance and having to do it.
As well,
But
so-
I mean, that's that. What a crew to grow up under.
Yeah, so it was, and I think when I think back now, I didn't realise how special it was as well, because I grew up with my auntie working in a rainbow room, so I didn't realise there was all these wee small salons that were not like ours as well. So it wasn't till I went to one of the Turner Taste shows, went down as an assistant. It says, right, you can go and sit in the audience and watch it as well. But as usual, they're like, we need extra hands, use backstage, get helping. And then it was like Vidal Sassoon walked past, and I was like, and I think it was Sarah Jane that was with me. It was either Sarah Jane or Charlotte or somebody, one of the ones anyway, like another wee old schooler. I could say 90% it was Sarah Jane.
I think it is Sarah Jane, because she's been talking about the story now she's been back.
Speak. She was just like that. Oh my God. And I think I had a bruise for getting elbowed so much as well. And we're just like that. And then it like said hello and all that. We're just like, oh. And then there's chatting to other people that are hairdressers there. And they're like, oh, use the rainbow room, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's amazing. And I'm just like, oh, we're quite big. Yeah,
this means something else.
This actually means a lot more than what I thought it meant when I was... Because obviously you're young, you don't really know the difference as well until you went to London and you've got all these big London hairdressers saying that they know who we are. And I was a bit like, oh, we're a bit more thing than I thought we were.
But I think that's the misconception of the brand. And that's a cracking attitude to have with it. You know, it's just that, because if you're going in all swag and all ego, then it's not cool, is it? Right? No. You just want to be able to just be, you know, the good guy doing the good thing at a good level. And if people around you are noticing, that's great. And then if that's building a clientele and punters and loyalty, then that's fantastic. But that's what gravitates, you know. So if you're getting your energy coming out of you is making Vidal walk over and go,
we were all like shake buzzing. Like, oh, this is amazing being down here.
And I think historically he was good at that. I think he was supposedly, reading anything about him, because I think he'd even go to the academy and get the assistants to cut his hair and all that. I think he had that, which Alan used to do. I mean, Alan would sit. I mean, again, I remember that, like literally just being qualified, and Alan asked, maybe his hair was down there at the time, so it was just trim. But it was still terrifying.
I remember having to give Alan a shiatsu and to learn how to do, because I was the first lot that get brought in to learn how to do the shiatsus with people that came over to taught us. And that was up in like 24 on the second floor. As well, after I qualified. But I left for 6 months.
Right, well, that's where we were going, because you're doing the Saturday thing. You're sort of seeing the brand, you're seeing the vibe, you're surrounded by superheroes, but obviously you're still doing great at school. So there's two clear either
paths.
Exactly. You've got this academic route, and you've obviously got the hairdressing route. So where were you at that journey?
So at that point, in my head, I didn't think I wanted to be a hairdresser. I just thought it was loads of really good fun, and I actually really loved doing it. So at that point, I actually wanted to be a physiotherapist. Right. As well. So still working with my hands, just a completely different way as well.
But that ties back into the dancing as well,
it
isn't
does,
it? Because
there's always like everything all kind of ties in together.
People don't see dancers as sports
people, but
you know, and they are really, and they need all that backup, whether it's diet, stretching, physio, the whole shebang. So that's a clear understanding of looking after your body and that kind of thing. And did that come from school as well, or was that just something that you thought that would be a good thing to do?
I think that came from a wee bit of school as well, because I think when you're at school, when you're a bit academic, they don't want you to go and do a trade. That's what I felt like. It felt as if you need to go to uni as well. Like, you should be going to uni. But now I see that it doesn't have to be like that, and it actually shouldn't be like that.
No. And I don't know whether that might still be, there might be point scoring for them at the time to be seen to send one of their pupils to uni and get a big tick for whatever reason.
So that was me. So I got to 6th year, finished off my exams, and then I spoke to David and I says, like, I think I want to go to uni. He's like, right, okay. He's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I'm thinking I'm better breaking away for a bit and then see how I feel as well. So I left for 6 months, worked as a waitress in the hotel that Mum was working at, just nice and just to get money. And then it was obviously going up to Aberdeen to Robert Gordon as well. So
you went down the full path of being signed and sealed, and you had a place?
Signed and sealed, had a place, had a accommodation all sorted. So I was up in Aberdeen with Mum and Dad, and they were like checking everything out. paid for it. It was all done. As well. I was like, oh, I'm going to like tell them. I'm not too sure about this. As well. And so I left for 6 months, done wee bits, and I was doing basically into first year of human nutrition and dietetics, and then I'd gone into second year of physiotherapy, because you need to do your human nutrition anyway for that course. So I thought I'll do that bit first and then I'll do it. I had all the textbooks, everything's all done like 6 months of studying, and I was sitting with my mum and dad, and my mum just looked at me and she went, do you want to be a hairdresser? And I went, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Is that your mum's just no?
I just sniff it.
I was like, I just didn't want you to be like angry or upset. And she's like, look, we'll never be upset with you. I'm just raging. I've paid all that money. Yeah. She's like, but not upset at you want to do. Like, we would much rather you'd be happy and do something that you actually love doing. She's like, you obviously, and I found what I was doing interesting. Yeah. But I just didn't love it. And I didn't realise how much I loved doing hair until I left.
Which is interesting, I think, because not many of us have that bit of the story.
No.
You know, talking to everybody, there's obviously a few people that had done other things first, came into it, and then, I'll find my thing now, and that's it. There are not that many people that you talk to that actually do it, stop for a period of time, unless you crash motorbikes, and then come back into it. So that's... you know it's your passion,
so
I guess.
So then I knew that I really enjoyed doing it. Right. So then I phoned, at that point John had Great Western Road. Right. So him and Joe were there, both of them were there at that point. Yeah. So I phoned John and I says, like, I think I want, he's like, yep, I'm looking for an assistant, absolutely fine. As well. He's like, why don't you do a 3-month trial, see how you feel, and then that was it. Never left since. As well. Okay. And I'd done my training about a year, because I could do highlights and I could already put tints on, so it was just a case of having to do the paperwork side of it all. Right. So that was pretty much, I left school in like 1999 and then I was qualified in the end of 2000.
Did you? And that's also with the 6 months out? Yeah. That's mental.
So but basically my award says 2001 though, because you had to do your time in academy. 24. And we couldn't leave until you'd done 80 request clients. Right. So it wasn't the 3-month one. We were like the longer stint.
Right, so it was actually the numbers, it wasn't the time.
Wasn't the time, you had to hit 80 request clients as well. So some girls were there for like 9 months, some were there for 3, some were there for 4. The ones that were there for 3 definitely cheated. Because there's no way you could have done 80 request clients that you'd never done before in 3 months.
I would have had my entire family, and I mean
I did as well.
in my day, it was 100. You just had to do 150 models
as well. No,
for
we had
4
to
weeks, and then another 150.
80 request clients. So I think I was there for about maybe 5-6 months as well, something like that.
I think a lot of these things. It's interesting. Obviously, we're sitting with Alan and Linda for so long that a lot of the business practice comes out of just necessity or need and problem solving. And probably around about 95, 96, 97, the thing was going so well, and the management teams and all the salons were so strong, and the training, that we probably just had a plethora of talent. And it was a case of how do we separate the absolute superstars from the really good ones, but also have some sort of timeline to fit you all in without letting you go and be brilliant somewhere else. So
there was 11 of us in Fame
at the time. Fame Academy at the time.
So when I started in Fame, there was 11.
Wow. Yeah. You bet you could you imagine where hairdressing is just now in recruitment.
So we used to have to fight over the sections. Sometimes we had to jump downstairs. Like David, we need to use one of the sections down here, and I'd be like, I've not got enough space either.
That's amazing.
So it was like an amazing experience.
Who was running Fame Academy at that point with you guys?
So it was Alex and then Patrick as well. And Luke used to come in once a week, and I still had Alan once a week as well. You just had to stand in front of the mirror, give yourself a rating out of 10. Used to terrify me.
All illegal now.
Yeah. So I think you like to do that now.
We can't. You and I can't do that. It's Alan.
I remember doing a haircut with Luke, and Luke's like, you need to cut that client's hair off. And I was like, well, she doesn't want it that short. And she's going to suit it, just cut it off. And luckily it was my friend. And I had to basically cut her hair into a bob, feel like down here. She sat and just like, I'm like, I'm so sorry. But like, I mean, it looked beautiful. And she actually still wears her hair a bob now because she loves it. But at the time, it was the right thing for her. but I was terrified of doing it.
Yeah. Alan did it the other day to Fabrizio.
Yeah.
Just this big giant head of hair on this woman, and it was somebody that Alan knew back in the day, and he'd finished, he was back mirror and all that, and spun around, and Alan just stopped and went, why have you got that haircut?
Yeah.
Like, and then made him chop it all off.
Yeah, and I think doing that from so young, it didn't make me too scared of cutting people's hair off.
Yeah.
And actually saying, this is what your hair needs.
Well, again, as well, you're at that sort of GHD period where everything was kind of, it was like the long Rachel, you know, where everything was like cut there and framed round the face, and nobody was letting you do anything else, and it was straightened within an inch of its life. So I think that was always kind of, it's really interesting because we're kind of in that period now with all the big long mermaid hair as well, where you're like, kids are finding it really difficult to get models. We're not wanting to do it on the training heads, and you know, kind of really struggle that way, whereas you just need that moment.
Yeah, and I think that kind of made me realise, okay, I need to really work in people's face shapes and stuff, and actually think what suits them and not just what they want. But obviously you need to listen, you obviously need to listen to what they want as well. Of course, but then you need to find a balance of what's going to work.
And having the confidence,
and having the confidence to do it.
Because it was that was always the bit that got me with these guys. Where they would just look at somebody and go, no, you're meant to have X, Y and Z. And if it was put across with confidence, more so with a client relationship, not in a training relationship, but if they put that across in a consultation that, listen, I know what I'm talking about here, and I can not only deliver the haircut, but I know why you should be getting it, and can put that across the client, and the client's sitting there going, well,
especially when you do their face shape, a lot of time thinking, oh, I've never had somebody tell me my face shape
to this day,
and you still get that,
and amazing. It's like that nobody's ever talked about that, and even just body posture and hair coming onto the shoulders and losing neckline, all that stuff. It's like things get different, but stay the same, to that certain extent. So you qualify into Great Western Road, which again, 10 sections in Great Western
11
Road.
I think
11. They managed to squeeze another one in up the back eventually.
11 or 12. I think they're pretty much the same as what Crow Road's got.
Right. Well, they were all meant to start with 12. For some reason I always thought they had one short, but I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, that salon at that point is bouncing. Yeah, because we had obviously John, Joe, Susie, Will, Charlotte, Sarah Jane, Carol, Patrick. I had an amazing stylist to look up to. And I was left-handed. Right. So having Susie and Charlotte in the salon was really great because I could watch them and go, oh, that makes so much more sense. Right. Than having somebody right-handed me show how to do it. Yeah. John was really good though because he could do both. Yeah. So he could show me. I would always try to teach. My first ever sort of left-hand assistant that I knew was going to really make it. I'm like, right, I'm going to try. It's not even so much what you're doing with the scissors, what you're doing with that other arm, and where that elbow is, and where the body. It was more the body mechanics than anything else. And going, right, why does that not look right? Other than the fact that it's in my head back to front. But that's, I mean, you were talking about the lineup that you grew up under in 24, and then another amazing one in Western Road. Problem with that one is you're no longer just putting their colours on and washing it off. No, I'm doing it beside them. You've got to cut hair beside them and then make sure you keep your clientele, which is I think part of the brand's success. If you go right back to the early days in Buchanan Street, who was on that floor, and then who was on 15's floor, who was on 24's floor, then at that point it would have been Adrian first, and then John opening up. So at that point you're the second franchise as well. So even that's new, that the brand is no longer just in the city centre. It's a wee bit more accessible. It's in a different area. Obviously John's went through the story about why he picked Great Western Road in the first place. But what a team to break through. They were an amazing team to work with and work under and look up to as well. Yeah. So and you'd have been there because he went on a run of winning Salon of the Year at Congress. Did he not do a couple of years in a row? A couple of years in a row, yeah. That we won it as well. So it was always quite a good team at the time. So sort of promotion through the ladder, going from, because at that time it would still be all the levels, wouldn't it? All the extra levels. All the levels were in it. So did you find that transition? How long did it take to get your first promotion from qualifying? Just over a year, I think. As well. So pretty much just over a year to go from stylist to senior stylist. As well. Didn't have graduate then. No. As well. So it was stylist, senior stylist, and then just worked my
my way up
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So I think by the time I went down to Crow Road, I think I was at senior stylist as well.
Right.
Because I think I'd only actually been in Crow Road for literally, not Great Western Road actually, for like 6 months to just under a year.
Right.
When Crow Road opened and Joe went down and Andrew went down as an assistant.
Right.
As well. I was still working up in Great Western Road, but then they opened up in December of 2001. So literally really 2002 because it was December. And then in the February of 2002, Joe fell and broke her elbow.
Is that when she did that? Right.
As well. So John had asked me, would you mind going down, help cover some of Joe's clients because they know you quite well. And I was like, yeah, okay. And obviously I'd had a clientele, but it wasn't a massive one.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that's fine. So I went down. I was only meant to go down until Joe basically finished, got her stookie off and she was back. And I was there and I'm thinking, oh, this is much, I love music, but John plays it way too loud for me.
Right.
As well. So I like it a wee bit more calmer.
Yeah.
So I'm quite a chilled out, quite a calm person.
Very different shape, a salon
Very
as
different
well.
shape, and it was a very much more family orientated area.
Yeah.
So it was a much different atmosphere in it. It was a bit more calmer, a bit more chilled out. And I was like, oh, I think I quite like this. Yeah, quite like this. So that was me, and I ended up staying down there.
And was there any blowback from that, or was it fine? Was it
no?
kind of
It was absolutely fine. John was quite happy with that because he was wanting to transition some people down there anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they were bulging at the seams, weren't they?
Yeah. So he was quite happy with that. He's like, yep, no, that's fine. You keep doing that. So I was down there, and I think so a girl, Barbara, was down there at the time, and another girl, Karen, was actually she's away in Australia now working. So there's a couple of really good people down there, and obviously Manny.
Yeah.
And then Siobhan was doing the reception work, and she wasn't a hairdresser.
Right.
So she was a receptionist, but she also done the management stuff.
Right.
And then John came down every Friday and done a day in the salon on the Friday.
Right.
And then it wasn't till maybe, at that point I was already doing all the night classes and teaching anyways. I'd done 4 days in the salon and 1 day teaching.
So you'd already started in the academy by that point as well?
Yeah.
And was that then the wee one, or was that 24?
So I started, when I went back to as a qualified stylist in Great Western Road, John's like, right, we'll do night classes.
Yeah.
That's fine. I was like, right, okay. So I was helping out doing night classes, and I was like, oh, I quite enjoy doing this. And I'm like, and then John could see it. He's like, you really quite like this, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm really enjoying like helping people and showing them stuff. And he's like, right, okay. And it was him that kind of says, do you want to go and try the academy for a wee half day and see how you feel with it? I'm like, right, okay. Because with that, I'd only been on the floor for about a year, maybe a year and a half.
Right, wow.
So I hadn't been on the floor that long.
But the thing with that is, the caveat to that is you're 6 years in the brand.
But I've been in the brand a long time.
Yeah.
And
So you've seen...
And I've seen a lot. So I was like, right, okay. So it was just opened up at the small one next to Howard Street. Yeah. So I started in there a wee half day, and it was like Edward.
Wow,
one of the other teachers as well.
Yeah.
So he was great to learn
Again,
off of as
legend,
well.
yeah.
And then Tina was there sometimes.
Oh, brilliant.
As well. So it was quite a lot of good people, and obviously Lean that was there as well. And
it was bulging. I mean, we go through it
so
with Lee. It's hilarious,
busy.
like day one.
Like there was no space.
This isn't going to work.
There was literally every section was full, and I'm like, this is crazy, but I'm actually loving it.
Yeah. Well, it was a cool. It was a good space.
It was a good space,
and it was, and again, it probably gave you more of a salon vibe.
It did, yeah.
Than where we're at now,
Yep.
just because of the sheer expanse and size of the academy now, and all the different sort of zones in it. But it was probably the nearest to what it would have been like training up on second floor and 24, which I guess was
what I was used to.
What we were all used to.
Yeah.
What was the norm, probably, and about the right size for a normal. I mean, I don't think anybody would ever really imagine something like our academy, whether it be state funded or whether it be privately funded, in Glasgow, teaching hair. You know, every time you send anybody's parent, anybody's a model, they're always like, wow, when they see the big one. But the first one in Howard Street, kind of like, still amazing, but kind of what you would think, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And then once the new one opened up, that's when I went and done a full day. And I done full day in there and 4 days in the salon.
Right. So was that all at the point where we were all made to do our teachers? Was that an E32, 33 or D30?
D32, D33, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I done that and then I also done my A1.
Right.
So I ended up doing the two of them.
There's too much writing involved for the A1 for me. I did whatever they did. The bit that always used to make me laugh about that was that in theory we could go into like Reed Care College and mark somebody building a wall or something like that. And you're going, I can tell you how to do a haircut, but I'm going to like, your grouting's brilliant, big man.
Done all that.
Yeah.
As well. And then...
That's quite early.
I was quite young when I started it, so so it was quite that was like early 2000s really.
But again, that's Alan and Linda's, they would always empower from the youth up. It was never really, you were never, a bit like Alex Ferguson and Man United, do you know what I mean? You're either good enough to play, you're not good enough to play.
And I think probably at that time, I didn't really think anything of it because other people were all doing it.
Yeah.
They'd all been there the same amount of time as me or less than me as well. So I was like, that's fine.
Was Ray still in the picture at that point? Was she still about? Or?
Ray was there at the very start, and then she'd left by the time the new one had opened.
Aye, because again, looking at that, you're looking at an age group that's not, because they're only, well, they would all have been grown up and would have been, I mean, if Cassie and Shannon were assistants when you were a Saturday girl, then obviously Lee and Ray hadn't been there yet. So you've watched them progress in your timeline.
I think Lee started like 6 months after me over in Buchanan Street.
Yeah.
But like she started pretty much full time though. Yeah. As well. So when I was a Saturday. Like,
so that's the thing. So it's not like, so they're kind of your generation. Yeah. Really, but so that again, what a group of people to grow up under and all that kind of stuff. So you're training it in the salon from Great Western Road down to then to Crow Road, and you're doing that there. You're doing the full day. Did you find it, was it a help or a hindrance? I'm always kind of intrigued to whether...
I found that a help because I had to really think about things so I could teach it to somebody. Yeah. So it made me have to sit and think, right, how do I break this down to show somebody how to do it? So it made me actually think about doing my haircuts. So I felt as if when I was doing haircuts in the salon, I'm like, right, how would I break this down to show somebody how to do it? And then teach it to them the easiest way that they could manage. I'm quite a touchy-feely person. Right. As well. So like somebody could tell me it and I'm like, I don't get it. Right. If they tell me, you can tell you over and over again, but if you don't visualise it that way, or if you don't touch it and feel it, I need to do it. I need to touch it, feel it, do it as well. Okay. Which means that you're like a kind of kinetic kind of person as well. You like your jackets. Like my jackets. I like kind of all that kind of stuff. I need to touch things. Make sure it feels nice before I put it on. Yeah. No, that's it. It's. I mean, again, we are taught that early doors that there's no point in having a conversation with a client that's auditory based and showing them pictures because it's not going in. And that's when me and Lee were in the academy. I think it was me, Lee, Nikki, it might have been Kerry as well at the time. We're like, right, they all learn so different. And then I remember being a teacher and like Lee's like, right, we need to kind of figure out something else how to do this. So that's when we made up the wee test. We made up a wee test of like if they're going to be audio, visual, kinetic. Right.
What did the test consist of? Was it
was just quite a lot of wee questions that they'd ask of like, and it's the way they answer it because they'll say, I feel, or like I see as well, like or I hear. So you can tell by the way they answer the questions. Brilliant. What way most people are definitely a combination of a couple of them, but there's always one that's a bit more dominant,
stronger.
So it made it much easier for us to teach. Right. Okay, that person's really visual, so I need to like physically show them it.
And that's I think that's the difference where you're not browbeating somebody into it must be this way. I mean, in a conversation perspective with that is the giveaway is where the eyes go, because they're either looking up because they're imagining it and they're creating the picture, they're looking to the left or right because they're talking to themselves about it, or they're looking down at their heart because they're feeling it, and it works every single time. And whether it's a consultation, whether it's training, whether it's even presenting to a certain extent, and you're doing it, get your point across, because you imagine, sounds like, you do all that stuff,
and I think it made it better in the salon as well, because it meant when you're doing your consultation, when clients are giving you answers back, you're thinking, okay, they need to visualise this, or they need to hear it over and over again.
Or let me get a magazine.
Yeah, or else I'm not going to show you
I'm going to be
pictures
talking for an hour.
as well.
Well, again, that's the again with Alan. Once we've done all the origin stories, I'd really want to sort of start tapping into the why we do what we do, and the consultation one. I mean, I don't think William and the boys have got enough space on the hard drive to get Alan to talk about consultation, but that idea, you've got a finite amount, you've got a short amount of time, and you've got and appointments are getting longer and longer and longer, and client numbers are getting less and less and less, and we all think this is a alleged good thing, which obviously it's not, but people are going round the houses with these consultations, whereas if they stuck to those rules, got the other language outside your English coming out your gob and understood that, you're getting to your point quicker. But again, it's one of these things, do people even know that you're going to that length to teach these guys?
And that's the thing, I don't think they do. I don't think they realise how much we actually put into it to break things down and actually teach them how to do it. So
in that, you're finding that's helping your
that's definitely helping my clientele quite easily.
And did you take a wee step back for doing art team stuff then and sort of concentrate on the training in the salon more?
Yeah, I didn't really do a lot of the art team stuff. I done wee bits and pieces. But I definitely went much more on behind the scenes. I didn't like being on stage, not my thing. I'd much rather be behind stage. I'd happily be behind stage and do hair. I just don't want to be on it.
Well, again with that, it's not, that was not for everybody. We would certainly not force anybody on that kind of didn't want to do it, but I think that's the thing, in that training was as important to us all as whether it was the art team, photographs, show work or whatever. But pretty much all of the inverted commas superstars didn't just do the one thing. And certainly not anybody that's a director in the brand. They definitely were either heavy into teaching, heavy into show work, heavy into this. Some of us all doing all three.
Done a bit of both, but teaching was definitely more my passion.
That was the thing. Right. And then did you find building a column more difficult with the 4 days and the day at the academy, or did it just, was it pretty much because you were doing it from the start?
I think I was doing it from pretty much the start. No, and I had quite a lot of my clients from Great Western Road that followed me down because it wasn't that far away. So I had quite a lot. Like, so some of the clients I do now came for, actually some of them have actually came for the academy and followed me up to Great Western Road and then followed me down. So amazing. I've still got some that are from the very start as well. So I didn't find it too hard, but I think at that time you had loads of people coming through the doors, so it was quite easy to build than what it is now, I think. I think it was much easier to build your clients then than what it is for the younger ones now. We had Jordan Hill campus just up the road for us, so we had all the teacher students that used to come in as well. The train was always mobbed. I remember Andrew used to go down just stand with flyers. So
here's you've hit the nail in the head here of saying that it was easier for you then, but and all of these punters. But it's because you actually went there.
No, we went out
and did that, and that's a bugbear of all of us, that
we went out on the street.
There isn't, the train wasn't kicking about with 200 people that had never got their hair cut before, waiting on Julianne to qualify. Julianne went and got her clientele, and that I think is the big issue. That I put a post out saying I'm a hairdresser now. You're like,
but most of my clients came for the toilets in nightclubs. Like,
that's it, it's
what
true.
Would you do? The girl was always chatting in the toilet. You're in there for about half an hour talking absolute nonsense. So I always had vouchers in my handbag. Always.
It's to this day, it'll never. You can have all the greatest inventions in the world, but that bit of paper going, come and see me, that way. And then after the toilets and nightclubs, it was the kitchen and the party and the after party. When somebody found out you were a hairdresser, depending on how good looking the person was, I either worked in my mum and dad's chip shop or I was a hairdresser. Depending on, because I'm like, nobody wanted to talk about black puddings and batter at 4 a.m. in some parties, so if they weren't really one of my thing, I'm like, I want a chippy. I want a chippy. Nobody would ever question it, whereas I'm like, oh hello, I'm a hairdresser at Rainbow. It's always worked. But the main thing was, you had a pocket full of vouchers.
Always had vouchers.
Or, I mean, my team still laugh that I write down the phone number and sign back of menus. if somebody's looked after us great and went, please come and see us, you know, you've looked after us really great, because I'm not too proud to beg, you know, it's like you've got to fight for your customers, you know. So you're then in that progression, so you kind of working through your promotion, so kind of steady were you at that kind of stage, a kind of year and a half, 2 years, always hitting that?
Yeah, pretty much always getting a promotion all the way, kind of.
Because there was 9 levels at that point as opposed to the sort of 5 now, because obviously taking some out. They were put in my day because we were getting up the rank too quick, and then you guys had to fight all through them, and then
it took half them away.
Mid-teens they started taking them away because people weren't getting promoted as much, you know. So I don't know what that says, but anyway, it's you definitely went through it kind of at the hardest bit. Although there was all those people cheating, doing double promotions.
Yeah, there was a few that was in there.
I've got one of them in my house.
So.
Anyway, but we'll talk about that another time. So did management start to come in at that?
Yeah, maybe after the first year, or maybe after the second year of being in Crow Road.
Yeah. John
was like, right, I'm only down here 1 day a week. Jo was only part-time, so she only worked 3 days because she had 2 kids.
Yeah.
He's like, and Siobhan was obviously the manageress, but she was a receptionist, so she didn't do the hair.
Got you.
So he's like, how do you feel about doing a wee bit of management stuff? And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, I think I'd actually quite like it. I was like, I would like to maybe my own franchise at some point in the future.
So had you started thinking?
Yeah.
When did that kind of come into your sort of thinking?
So maybe about 2004, 2005.
Right.
As well. After being on the floor for a good couple of years. As well.
And seeing that it was
good and enjoyed it
and possible by that point, because by that time, so I'd opened in 2004, and you know, I'm the first assistant. So it's like some of the time you're looking at people and they were the finished article, qualifying. You're going, well, I don't know if that's that way, but he's going, well, if he can do it, right? No, and that was always my goal, right? I just want, if I was the first assistant to do it, then there would be anybody could just look and go, well, if Ricardo can do it, I can do it, because.
I think that's the way I thought. Like, cause I came in as a Saturday girl when I was 14, I seen like Adrian getting a salon, and then it was like John getting his, and then you getting one. Then Adrian had 2 as well, and I'm like, and then Will get his
as well, and
I was a bit like,
I want a bit of this.
I think I could do this as well.
And do you think as well that, because you are, you know, I'm not talking at school here, but you're super organised.
I'm very organised,
You're very, very organised. If in doubt, if you can't find a bit of paper,
you phone me.
Phone Julianne. And did that come? Well, obviously that was there for school, because if you were, you know,
I was pretty much like that from the start.
Right, and yet you've got that sort of studying background. You're good at that. You're organised there. You then go into teaching, which you need to do because
you need to be organised.
Yeah, I'm all over the practical. I'm not over the theory. As soon as the only bit of paper I like is a head sheet. Right, but everything else, I'm like, really, let's save the trees and just go on with it, you know. So that aspect is obviously there.
Yeah.
So you've got that, and you're building from that. It's quite a natural progression.
Yeah,
really.
I felt it was quite natural, and as well, and that was like, John's like, right, we'll send you on a management course as well, and Linda, just doing all that. So then we started just doing all that, and it just became quite natural for me. Yeah. And then I get more responsibilities in the salon. They'd be like, right, you be in charge of the assistants as well. You do the holidays. And then basically the stuff that John didn't want to do as well. Yeah.
All the fun stuff.
He's like,
all the fun stuff.
See that wee bit of paperwork there? Do you want to do that? And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, it makes absolute sense that you're actually a superstar of all of that stuff now when you think about it, you know, that way. And then where's Jo's fall with her ankle in all of this as well? Because that was a big pivotal moment in Crow Road.
We took over in 2012, and it'd been literally the year before that.
Right.
So it'd have been end of 2010, going into 2011.
Right, that's
when she really broke her leg really badly, and then she was off for nearly like pretty much a year.
Yeah.
As well, and then it was basically from that point.
That was.
John's like, this is getting a bit too much for me.
Yeah.
Having the 2 when I've got Jo off and doing all that. Yeah. So then I think he went and spoke to Alan and Linda. And
that's when it was getting talked about. Yeah. Now, had you and Andrew discussed it?
Yeah, I'd already spoke to Alan and Linda about wanting to do a franchise and doing all that.
So you'd already approached them at that point?
Yeah, so they'd already they were all, and obviously John had knew about that as well.
Yeah.
So they all kind of knew about that anyway.
And was it always the idea that you and Andrew would do it together?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were always thinking that we'll do that as a team together. Because that's a cracking backup. You know, I mean, obviously I had my brother with me for a long time in the salon, and you know, it's wrong. It's a wrong mindset to have when it comes to trust and all that kind of stuff. But when you're looking over at somebody and you're knee deep, good times, bad times, and everything in the middle, there's just that element of going, well, I know I can trust this person to
definitely
have my back, and obviously, you know, you have been there. You're talking about the management training. So was that obviously Linda used to do her whole course that she did. So did you do external stuff as well?
Yeah, I went with John and done like 365 training.
Right,
as
so
well.
we're kind of still on the cusp of that then.
Still on the cusp,
at that
and
time.
went and done some like Alan Whittaker ones. And,
So
I've done. So John actually sent me in quite a lot of stuff. He was going on it anyway.
Yeah.
So he's like, right, you come with me. I'm like, okay. As well. So we've done quite a lot.
And have you kind of cherry picked what you liked? You know, and what you got from that, and that bit was good, or
that bit was good,
this bit and all that.
I've obviously done quite a lot of Alan Austin Sismuth stuff.
Yeah.
Because Alan would organise that for like congress things and stuff like that. So
of course. And at that point, well, we would have definitely been starting to do the stuff in George Square with Alan Austin Smith, where we kind of had that idea of kind of restructuring just the whole kind of management regime. But in saying that, I mean, that's 2003 going into 4, because Guido was on some of them early because he was getting ready to do reception. He was helping in Buchanan Street to then get ready to help me. So that's kind of on that cusp.
So I was kind of already starting to do it without realising I was doing it.
Well, you were doing that right back.
From the start.
There's no way if you were doing training at the academy, the handover from the wee one to the big one, and organising all that, taking the nights, and again, you know, you've done all that, so you're managing with, in theory, a small M by that point already, and you've got that responsibility, and also by that point, then you've seen people that started there get to there, and you've been part of that journey. What do you take any? Do you still do a class at the academy now? Or?
Not as much. When we took over the salon, I done it for a few months, and then it just got a wee bit too much.
Of course.
When you're having to run a salon and do the teaching, but I still cover holidays.
Right. Okay.
So I'll still try and. So I'm actually covering in a couple of weeks.
Right.
And I covered it 2 weeks ago.
And do you take one of the courses? Do you do a class like the director's class as well?
Yeah. So I still teach a director's class. Yeah. And then I'll still cover some of the other teachers' holidays. So I'm still in doing it at least between 6 and 8 times a year.
Do you know what's quite cool about that is it's the opposite from, so you are a stylist, salon owner who sometimes teaches, as opposed to somebody who teaches all the time that sometimes cuts some hair. So it's quite, and I guess we're all in that kind of unique position. Obviously we're training it every week.
Obviously still doing stuff in the salon.
Of course. But that again, it's a cracking part of the journey, that kind of thing. And again, that thing of I've covered all of these different bases, you know, because obviously there's that, you know, once you get your salon, the paperwork and that bit, all the fun stuff. Why do I need a desk? You know,
we don't have a desk.
Sorry.
No. Still don't have one.
Well, that when you get your dad to be shoehorn one in somewhere like that.
He'll make one.
Hey, but you've got a giant staff room.
I do have a big staff room.
Yeah, you're looking after your guys. You know, you're looking after your guys too much. You can sneak
a wee table and chairs and everything in there.
What you do, I do with
microwave.
I do with Linda. Didn't have that wee bit at the back at 15. You can have a wee cubby hole that the two of you can go in there and shout at people, or just break pens when you're frustrated. You know, nobody sees you. But it's a big journey in a very short period of time, where you've covered a lot of hairdressing and kind of shrugged your shoulders. You know, what was the most challenging bits of that in the journey, do you think?
I would probably say the transition of being a team member to being the team member's boss.
Right.
As well. So obviously you're still a team member.
Yeah.
But going from being your pals.
Yeah.
to now being like, I need to tell you what to do all the time.
Yeah. And is that even in management, even before you were a franchisee?
Even before as a franchisee, I found that a wee bit of the difficult bit. So I always think the difficult bit is dealing with the people.
Yeah.
I can deal with clients and I can deal with all the paperwork. But dealing with people is always the hardest bit.
Yeah. There's a wee bit of imposter syndrome, isn't there?
Yeah. Is there something I'm the same as you? Yeah.
And the thing is, again, well, we're back to that thing of, because you were always, you know, empowered, young. I mean, was there times when somebody was older than you?
Yeah.
Because that's the weirdest.
Like, so that can be really quite tough. I've had stylists older than me. My receptionist is older than me, but she's worked with me for 15 years, so that just feels normal as well. But there's been times there's been people older than me. I remember teaching in the academy with one of the girls that came for, she might be a George Square stylist, I think. And she was very sceptical about coming in with teaching my class as well. Because she went to teach with me, because we always have like 2 teachers normally. And then she was like, oh, you actually are quite good. And I was like, all right, what do you mean? As well,
what do you mean quite?
I was like, what do you mean by that? And she's like, well, just expecting because you were quite a bit younger than me, you wouldn't actually have enough experience to do this. And I was like, yeah, I've been here quite a while as well. But that made you feel a wee bit like, does everybody think that?
Oh no, I found that really, I found that really tricky in Buchanan Street, like, you know, because again, you're kind of growing up through your peers, and all of a sudden you're sitting going, aye, I'm going to be telling Pam how to retail. Yeah. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, utilisation, Pam, like, shut up.
As well, so. And then the same back at, like, when I was in Crow Road with a couple of the stylists that were older than me when I was doing management stuff, and it took a bit of time for them. They respected me as a hairdresser, but I think it was that wee chip in the wee shoulder that was like, she's younger than me.
Was it walking the talk that broke it? Was it just time? Was it they were getting shipped out and new people were getting shipped in?
I think a wee bit of everything. I also think sometimes I thought, because John and Joe's my aunt and uncle, you're just getting it easy. But I'm pretty convinced they were harder than me than anybody. Definitely, because like they didn't want to.
No employment law for relatives.
So they didn't want to show like favouritism. But I think people go, you got to where you are because you got that. And I'm like, no, I worked really hard to get to where I was. So I think it was a lot of doing the job, them actually just watching me, and then seeing actually she's doing everything the way it should be done.
Well, the academy bit was also the fact that that was nothing to do with them.
No.
That was, you know, so you're in full glaze of Alan and Linda at that point. All the other directors who are sending their team members to you, obviously Lee at that part of her journey as well. So it's not as if you made that happen. You got that respect sort of by yourself. And at what point were you kind of comfortable in all of that you thought, well, if the opportunity to get a franchise comes, I'm ready to go?
I think probably about the year before we got it.
Right.
I was kind of getting to the point thinking, like, I think I could, I'd be ready to do this.
Right, so that's 2011?
11.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was around about that point.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to stop the first part, because, you know, I think we're going to get so much into then getting the opportunity to get Crow Road as your franchise with your brother. I think that's brilliant, but an amazing insight into your origin story, getting to where you got to, and all of the bases that you've covered to get there. It reeks of Rainbow Room International. It does. Doesn't it? Like when you go back you through and you go, of course it worked out that way, that way. But you know, it wasn't a fluke, was it?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. Right, Julianne, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you for part 2.
Yeah.